Welcome back to another Season of Discovery class guide. This marks the last episode of the series. We covered all classes. If you want to see any other of them, there's going to be a link in the description with a playlist. Today we're covering the Shaman, one of the anticipated classes of Season of Discovery. Top 3 with Druid and Paladin. Obviously those were the underdogs in Classic, the ones that weren't able to be fully played just like a DPS class. Now it's going to be available to play them in many ways, many specs. Today we're going to cover 4 specs for the Shamans: tanking, enhancement, restoration, and elemental, which all of them are going to be viable thanks to the new runes. I've put together some BIS lists for level 25, talent specs, and runes. Make sure to check the timestamps in the description down below to check your favorite spec. With that being said, let's get into the first spec for today, which is going to be enhancement. Let's start with the helm slot. Humbard's Helm from Hildred Foothills. You're gonna farm a bit for this, but it's gonna be the best in slot. Hide Tide Choker from BFD 10 Men. Awesome necklace. This is probably gonna be best in slot all the way to level 40 probably, or somewhere around there. A Robust Shoulder of Agility. I would probably recommend something of the Monkey if you can get. That would be 6 stats. If not, the Mantle of Thieves, that would do great. Cape of the Brotherhood with a 3 Agility enchant. Go to Dead Mines and get the Defias armor. Really good stats, strength, agility, and lots of stamina. Bindings of Serakis, 6 strength, 3 stamina. In terms of weapons, there's going to be a lot of options. This Windstorm Hammer is going to be available from a quest out in the world. I would assume that the quest would be available to be done, such as this one, but this one requires you to go to Scarlet Monastery. If this one is not able to complete the quest, just go for one of the other weapons. There are a lot of options for Shaman weapons. I wouldn't worry too much about it. Void Touched Leather Gloves. I would go for leatherworking and engineering as a Shaman. It gives you agility, stamina, 1% chance to hit, but Descend into Madness, increasing attack speed by 10%, as well as increasing the threat you generate for 10 seconds. I think this is going to be good for tanking as well. But leatherworking will have better items probably at level 40 and 50 and even 60. Deathkin Belt, it's a belt from a quest in Ashenvale. 4 agility, 3 stamina, and 12 attack power. I think it's going to give the most power from this belt. Leggings of the Fang into Feet of Lynx. If you can find Feet of Lynx, don't worry too much. There's also Warsong Boots from a quest in Ashenvale too. They're pretty good. Actually, they might be even better for PvP. Thunderbrow Ring into Silver Lane Family Seal. If you cannot get the Thunderbrow Ring, which is the BOE, just get the Seal of Sylvanas from Shadowfang Keep quest. The Void Pearl, and attack power, and get yourself your hands on an Arena Grandmaster if you can. For the talents, we choose the enhancement, and instead of Ancestral Knowledge, which gives you 1% maximum mana, I decided to go for a shield spec, as you never know as a Shaman when you're forced to equip a shield and maybe do a bit of tanking or just try to stay alive. The 1% mana, 5% from 5 talent points doesn't really give you a lot, especially at this level. It's not going to make a huge difference, so I went for shield spec, as you might be able to swap your runes and then even tank and do enhancement as well. Thundering Strikes, 5 out of 5, 5 critical strike rating, no brainer. We have the improved Ghost Wolf, as you don't have a mount at level 25. It's quite great. And then 1 point into Lightning Shield, followed by Enhancing Totems. I'm not sure exactly how much the Strength of Earth and Grace of Air totems give at this level, but 15%, judging by the fact that they will scale with the Blessing of Kings or Aspect of the Lion or the new Horn of Lordaeron. I'm not sure if you can have both of them, but I think this is going to be good for party and raid benefit. And Flurry increases your attack speed by 10% after for your next 3 swings after dealing a critical strike, which I think is going to be really good. This is the talents that I went for, and for runes we went straight for Dual Wield spec. Increases your chance to hit with both spells and melee attacks by 5% while dual wielding, and your Storm Strike ability now hits with both weapons while dual wielding. Not gonna have Storm Strike at this level. I think you're gonna get it at 40, but 5% chance to hit is quite great. Second rune will be obviously Shamanistic Rage, reduces all damage you take by 20%, and you regenerate mana every second for 15 seconds. Mana regenerated per second is equal to 15% of your attack power, 10% of your spell power, or 6% of your healing power, which value is the greatest. Shamanistic Rage, moving into Lava Lash. Lava Lash is an ability that you charge your offhand with lava, instantly dealing 100% off-weapon damage. Damage is increased by 20% if your offhand weapon is enchanted with Flame Tongue. That's why you want to have like a slow weapon in the offhand. You want to try to find 2 strong weapons, 2 slow weapons. So this seems to be like a micro version of a TBC Shaman. Don't think Enhancement Shaman gets the most at level 25. I think Enhancement Shaman is going to perform way better at the 40 cap, as he will be able to get more spells and obviously more talents that are going to benefit him tremendously. One thing I wish Blizzard did with Shamans was focusing them more towards a two-handed weapon spec rather than dual wield, but maybe we get to see that at higher levels or maybe at level 60. Definitely even this spec, the enhancement, it will benefit more at level 40 with weapon mastery, with Storm Strike. Let's move now to the tanking Shaman. The tanking Shaman in terms of gear is not going to be much more different. Bright-eyed goggles, 9 stamina, 9 spirit. If you can get your hands on a Humbert helm, it's going to give you agility, more defense. A necklace of the bear at level 25, 4 stamina, 4 strength. Robust shoulders of the monkey at level 25, 6 agility, 6 stamina. Cape of the Brotherhood. Defias armor, 11 stamina. Bindings of Serakis here with 5 stamina enchant. We're gonna go for the new weapon from BFD. It has a 2 speed with some decent stats, lots of damage per second, 19.2. Commander Crests from Shadowfang Keep. There are a multitude of shields, including one from BFD, but this one I thought it would be easier to acquire. It has stamina and strength. I think it's gonna be pretty good. Same thing with the Void Touch leather gloves, giving you some extra threat while you use the cooldowns. That's pretty cool for a tank. Deathkin Belt. The attack power is kind of really needed to hold aggro. Leggings of the Fang, strength, agility, and stamina. Warsong Boots with 5 stamina. Seal of Sylvanas from Shadowfang Keep. Silver Lane Family Seal from Shadowfang Keep. So you can farm that a bit for the shield. You can farm it for the rings as well. And then Avengers Void Pearl and Arena Grandmaster. The talents are pretty much straightforward for me. I went for 5 out of 5 shield spec. Into Thundering Strike, 5% crit, into Anticipation, which increases the chance to get an additional dodge by 5%, but if you feel like getting 2 points into Improved Ghost Wolf, just go for it, take 2 from here. 5% dodge, with shield spec, with 5% crit, and with Flurry, which gives you 10% attack speed for the next 3 swings. Simple, and you don't really have a lot of options. In terms of runes, we go for Shield Mastery. Each time you block, you regenerate mana equal to 4% of your maximum mana, and you gain armor equal to 30% of your shield armor value, stacking up to 5 times. You also gain 10% increased chance to block and 15% increased block value, which makes the Shaman rather viable to tank at this level. Way of Earth, it's the second rune that we're gonna use. While Rockbiter weapon is active on your main hand weapon, you deal 100% increased threat and gain 30% increased health, take 10% reduced damage, gain 6% reduced chance to be critically hit by melee attacks, and Earthshock taunts the target to attack you. Has a separate cooldown from other shock spells, but it has reduced melee range. So this Way of the Earth, it's a must-have. It's quite complicated. You deal 100% increased threat, Earthshock becomes a taunt, health increased. This makes you like way more viable. And last but not least, we have the Molten Blast, which blasts the enemies in a cone in front of you for 39 to 54 fire damage. This ability generates highest amount of threat. Flame Shock periodic damage has a 10% chance to reset the cooldown on Molten Blast. Here we have the tanking Shaman. It doesn't seem to be, in my opinion, as strong as the Warrior, the Druid, or even the Warlock so far from what I've seen. I think the Shaman is going to be the least important tank, the least strong one, especially at low levels where you wear leather, right? Maybe at higher levels we're going to see something else. Maybe at level 60 there are going to be sets designed for him. However, it is way better than it used to be in the past. Shamans barely were able to tank at any given times, but now they have a dedicated tanking spec. Now let's move to the elemental spec. On the elemental spec, we're going to focus gearing on spell power and intellect. Spell power Goggles Extreme, 21 spell power into Spectral Necklace of the Eagle, If you can find one of intellect, that would work too. Magician Mantle, Plowing Scarf, Robes of Argal. We need stats, a lot of stats. Mind Trust Bracers, but if you cannot find those, just get something with of the Eagle probably. I mean an intellect, or even of the intellect. Evocator's Blade into Basalt Buckler, which has a lot of intellect as well. Really wish we could find some spell power weapons early on. Try to apply wizard oils and stuff like that. Shaman is gonna need a lot of spell power. The Void Touched Leather Gauntlets, which improve your chance to hit with spells by 1%, but also Descending into Madness, increasing spell damage by 10%. Last time I read, for some reason, spell power, but it's spell damage by 10%, so it scales good at low levels as well. Belt of Argol, if not, there's the one from... oh, it can be Warsong Sash if you really want it, 9 stamina, 4 intellect, or the ones from BFD, which I cannot read the name. Silver Thread Pants. Wish there were better pants at this level, but we yet don't know all the available loot for level 25. Spider Silk Boots. The Warsong Gulch Ring. If you cannot find this, obviously, if it's hard to acquire, if it requires like a lot of reputation, assuming that they don't change the way you get them, try to get something else like 8 spell power for the Invoker Pearl and Rune of Perfection, which decreases the magical resistance of your spell target. In terms of talents here, we have Convection, which reduces the mana cost of your Shock, Lightning Bolt, and Chain Lightning spells by 10%. 10% is a lot for a Shaman, so I went for 5 out of 5. Into Concussion, increases the damage done by your Lightning Bolt, Chain Lightning, and Shock spells by 5%. We had an option here to increase the damage done by your Fire Totems. Kind of wanted to take it, but I decided to go for a mana reduction, as I'm not sure exactly how Shamans are going to perform with mana. I know we have some new runes, but I'm not sure if they're going to be enough. If you're not gonna have problems with mana, you can drop a couple of points from Convection and get probably Call of Flame 3 out of 3. Call of Thunder increases the critical strike chance of your Lightning and Chain Lightning spells by 6%, and also Elemental Focus, which is a clear casting spell, which gives you a 10% chance to reduce the mana cost of your next spell by 100%. Really good spec at this level, you get a lot of benefits. Moving into the runes, the first rune that we have here is Overload, which gives your Lightning Bolt, Chain Lightning, Chain Heal, Healing Wave, and Lava Burst spells a 33% chance to cast a second similar spell on the same target at no additional cost that causes half of the damage or healing and no threat. It's gonna proc quite often. I have to do the math on the damage, but it's going to be a huge damage boost. Second, we're gonna have Shamanistic Rage. Reduces all damage you take by 20%, and you regenerate mana every second for 50 seconds. Mana regenerate per second is equal to 15% of your attack power, 10% of your spell power, or 6% of your healing power. Lava Burst is the last one, which you hurl a molten lava at the target, dealing 198 to 256 fire damage. If your Flame Shock is on the target, Lava Burst will deal a critical strike. This is insane. This does more than the Warlock's Chaos Bolt at this level. Or well, if you have Lava Burst in it, it will deal a critical strike. This is going to be really bursty. The Shaman, it's already bursty with his combos with Chain Lightning. Imagine a Lava Burst into a Chain Lightning. I think Elemental Shaman is going to be fun to play. Imagine like in Warsong Gulch, Overload with Lava Burst and with Chain Lightnings, especially if you take the damage buff. Oh my god, this is something to look forward to. Now let's move to the Restoration spec. For the rest of the gear is going to be pretty similar. Spell Power Extreme, Necklace of the Intellect, Magician's Mantle. There's a Cloak from Warsong as well. We're going to see how we can obtain them. Black Velvet Robes, a BOE, 12 Intellect, 5 Stamina, but go for Robes of Argal if you can. Headhunter's Bands of the Eagle, Staff of the Blessed Seer, another BOE, 24 healing power. True Fate Gloves here, we have them with 15 healing spells. Belt of Argal, 10 Intellect. Silver Thread Pants, Extra Planar Spider Silk Boots. Now it's going to be a tough choice between Leatherworking and Tailoring. I think for Resto and Healing, Tailoring might be better at level 25, but we cannot say the same about level 40, so we don't know what we're going to get. Advisor ring, a chromite ring of the eagle, and the void pearl healing trinket with the arena grandmaster. When it comes to talents, I went for 5 out of 5 improved healing wave, so you can reduce the casting time of healing wave by 0.5 seconds, 2 points into the reduced mana cost of your healing spells, 2%, ancestral healing, which increases your target's armor value by 25% for 15 seconds after getting a critical effect on one of your healing spells. Healing focus gives you a 75% chance to avoid interruption caused by damage while casting any spell effect, and the radius of your totems is increased to 30 yards. I wanted to go for Healing Grace, which reduces the threat generated by your healing spells, but I don't think this is going to be the case. I don't think you're going to need it at the lower levels. Tidal Focus, 2% of mana. Pretty simple talent build. Moving into the runes. Healing Rain selects the area 15 yards around the target player and heals all of target's player's party members within that area for 20 seconds. Seems like we have another AoE spells, which will make probably Shaman. Combine Healing Rain with Chain Lightning. This is going to be really a lot of healing. Maybe we will need Healing Grace after all to get that threat down. Earth Shield protects the target with an Earthen Shield, reducing casting or channeling time lost when damaged by 30% and causing attacks to heal the shield for about 100. 100 is a lot at this level at 25. This effect can occur only once every few seconds. 3 charges last 10 minutes. Earth Shield can be placed on the one target at a time, and only one elemental shield can be active on the target at the same time. I would go here for Earth Shield, as Shamanistic Rage is a viable option too, but we don't know exactly how much 6% of your healing power is. I don't think we're gonna get a lot of mana back from this. We can test both of them, see how they work, but I think Earth Shield, it's a great one, especially for tank. Makes it more unique from a healing perspective. And for the last rune, we have the Water Shield. The caster is surrounded by 3 globes of water, granting 1% of your maximum mana per 5 seconds. When a spell, melee, or range attack hits the caster, 4% of maximum mana is restored to the caster. This expands on Water Globe. Only one globe, I wanted to say globe, will be activated every few seconds, lasts 10 minutes. Only one elemental shield can be active on the Shaman at any time. There we have a bit of mana regeneration back, especially more if you take damage. The rest of Spec looks really good. I think I underestimated the Shamans when I saw the other classes, what they are capable on healing. But probably with the new Healing Rain and with the Chain Lightnings and with the shields and with the ability to get some mana back, maybe Shamans will be after all top of the healing meters. I think the Shaman overall has a huge potential for classic Season of Discovery. I think it's going to do great in PvE and in PvE as well. Let me know what you think about the Shaman in the comments down below. What spec are you going to play if you plan to play a Shaman, or what classes you choose to play so far for the upcoming release. With that being said, find me live at twitch.tv/Frostadamus. We're gonna stream the Season of Discovery launch. If you want to hop on and waste a couple of hours with me, watch some stream, be my guest. If you're looking to level multiple characters in Season of Discovery and you don't have a guide so far, and if you're interested in getting a guide, in the description there's going to be a link from RXP. The guide, it's free 1 to 20 for all classes and all the features of the add-on. And in the future, if you feel like making an upgrade, use my code Frostadamus for 5% off. With that being said, thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you have a lovely rest of the day. Until next time, stay frosty. Bye-bye!